Okay, welcome back with Hobby Chopper. So this is being surprised, yet you know what the surprise is. But when you get it, it's a surprise, yet you know it's a surprise. Call me silly. Let's just say I had things that was coming to me. And it wasn't going to be a surprise in the fact that they were coming to me because I knew they were coming to me. Yet, because I knew you normally wouldn't have expectations to be surprised, uh, because you know it's coming. But in the things that I received, I was more than happy uh, with receiving them, which made it such a surprise. And plus, obviously, there were things that I wanted. Uh, and well, example, one was a book, and I just read the contents of the book. And when I read it, I thought to myself, what a book. Because of what was in it. And yet I hadn't even read the first page of the actual book itself. So that's what I mean by surprise. And I was just sharing how beautiful it is to find that surprise, even though you weren't expecting it. Because you knew it was coming, so it wasn't going to be a surprise. But saying that, I find since I roll with God, uh-huh, Alvis, he's up there too, uh-huh, and everything just runs smoothly. Everything just seems so good. The little things make things so much bigger in feeling wise. So when you do get something that is valuable to you, it has a lot of meaning that you sense it and feel it within you. Because there was a moment in my life I spent a long time actually in my life where I didn't feel. I didn't feel happy or sad about anything. I felt lost. Um, I wondered what was wrong with me that I didn't feel towards these things like people felt. I would look at people and I'd be thinking, how do you feel towards that? How do you do that? And I felt that it was just weird. That doesn't seem normal to me. But yet I seen it one day. I seen true love in a child. And it was the most beautifulest thing you could have ever seen. It was radiant. It it, it lit me up. It truly did. It was it was just in this world but out of this world. And it was one of the things that changed me in my life. Um, so, and it's also a part of me that I can use if I ever felt that there was a struggle in my life, I could always go back to that moment and remember how beautiful it was and how they were. It was seeing spirit shining out of the vessel that it was in and seeing that vessel, just enjoying the highs of their life. It was so beautiful. And I was driving a car and she was in the back of the car and she did a yodeling. It was so beautiful. It was like a symphony. Um, and never before had she done it. But this day it just came out of nowhere, and I turned and I seen, and she was looking out the window and she was looking up into the air, and I was looking and seeing what was going on, and the sun was shining down. It was a beautiful day, and I could see it in her that she was just over the moon and happy with her day and happy how life was in that moment in time, and it was shining out of her as much as it was shining down onto her, and it was beautiful. And from that, it shone on to me and opened up my light. The simple things in life can be so beautiful. Yodel. And yes, to this day, I'll always remember that as a precious moment in my life. That helped me find love on a physical plane. I had found love on a spiritual plane, but it took me away from the physical part of life. And that was through meditating for a long time, for about 2 years. Um, a lot of time was spent in them 2 years just meditating a lot. And it took me away from the physical life, relating to people, socializing. And not that I'm a big socializer still, but it took me away from that. And I really didn't know how to feel towards people or towards things. If you give me a gift, I wouldn't know how to accept it, how to feel. I'd feel weird. Someone gave me a hug, I'd feel weird. To hold someone's hand, it felt weird. All loving things that you would do with someone, they all felt so weird to me. As I never felt it, I never had it. So it was hard to come to a comfort with that. But I did. I've learned. Hold my own hand now. But yes, the simple things in life, and I'm just sharing my moment of happiness with you. Someone did ask me was it going to go live, and I probably should have with this, and went with it. And hopefully in the near future, I will do something live and have like an open chat where we can all talk, and I'll just give my view on what I know spiritually. Well, everything will come from a spiritual place, and we'll bring it to the physical plane, and I'll give you my honest truth. Maybe we'll do an answer questions and answer, because I believe I could transform it into spiritual, into the physical, no matter what the question is. The only thing is, my vocabulary in the English language mightn't be as smart or as educated as yours is. So you might have to explain some certain words to me. If you say things to me, I might not know them. But if you explain it to me, I'll be able to put it into a context for you to understand on the spiritual plane of things. So you might have to bear with me in some wordings. Because I do see some people do put up messages, and I'm like, what's that mean? You know, and this is just normal English language, and it's my only language. But yeah, when I go and check it out, I'm like, oh yeah, I totally know what you mean now. It's just that my education wasn't very good. Um, and any education that I really do have, I've scoped out to do that myself out of school. It was the later years that I've had learning, even reading. Wouldn't say I'm a great reader, but I force myself to read so I can learn more. And yeah, just sharing my life and the simple things, surprises. That's where it all began. When you think about it, that's how life begins. It's a surprise. Yet we know the child's coming. When a woman's pregnant, like, you don't look at it as a surprise because you know it's the child's coming. But when the child arrives, it's a beautiful surprise. It's a star born onto the earth in a vessel. And we dim that star straight away with influences of the dark world that we live in. Yet we could be brightening it up and being happy and letting the child venture out for itself, but we worry and care too much for what's outside of us and try to teach the children our ways as if we are the professional. Well, none of us are. And most of the time, our parents are the ones that we've came through as to be a vessel through them so we can learn from them of how not to be. No disrespect to our parents, but it's just that they've went through an age time where time has changed for this child. So the child's not going to be going through the same learnings and teachings of life as the parents did. So it becomes an opposition. Anyway, as I was saying, it's all just a beautiful surprise. This is all as we should see it at least, and appreciate it. So I'm just appreciating my surprises for today, and I might just go back to reading my book. And well, actually, I did start reading a few pages afterwards. But when I started it, I just read the whole context and was like, "Wow, this is a book of books." And yeah, now I'll go back to reading where I was, which I was at just before this. But I'm going to go and capture my coffee because I made a coffee. And that's what I was supposed to do, go back and start reading. But I came to do this. I just felt I was so happy with the things that I've got today. I'm like a pig in shit. Only from not rolling about in me things. But enjoying, enjoying myself in the simple things of life, being happy. And how did that come about? I brought it about in bringing that enjoyment by getting things that I enjoy. Not, and as they are material things, but they're things that will make me advance in the future of who I am. They're not just something that you buy and you leave lying there and doesn't help you advance in who you are today, and come tomorrow you know no more. No, the likes of a book, I enjoy that because whatever I read in it, it's something more than I know or I knew before that. And whether I knew it or not, it'll be coming from a context of someone else. So it's a new knowing from a different perspective, which is always good. Anyway, just sharing. And I hope and pray that you're all having as good a day. I truly mean that. And if you're not, may tomorrow be a better one. I pray for you. Pray for you all. Have a beautiful evening or morning, whatever part of the day it is for you, and for it to carry into another beautiful day tomorrow. This is Happy Chappy. Love and peace.